This episode of the Wheel of Time Community Show is sponsored by Tor Books and our Patreon supporters.
I'm Thom.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Kitty.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Well, wherever or whenever you are, welcome to the WOT Community Show. It's produced by DragonMount.com, sponsored by Tor Books, and our lovely Patreon supporters. I'm your host, Thom. Thanks for joining us. Now let's dive right into the WOT news. We all know what we're here for, and that's Amazon's big budget TV adaptation of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Now, on our last show, we spoke about some of the latest cast additions, and I know it can be tough to keep up with all of them, so let's give a quick recap, and you can check out this infographic while we do it. Now, as of this recording, there have been 21 actors who have either been announced or confirmed by Amazon in some official capacity, one way or another. We have Josha Stradowski, we're going to pronounce that right now, as Randall Thor, Madeleine Madden as Egwene, Rosamund Pike, can't wait, as the lovely Moiraine Damodred, Alexandre Willaume as Thom Merrilin, Animashaun as Loial, Michael McElhatton as Tam Althor, Barney Harris, Matt Cauthon, Marcus Rutherford as Perrin Aybara, Zoë Robins as Nynaeve, Daniel Henney, Land Mandragoran, Alvaro Morte as Logain Ablar, Johann Myers, Padan Fain, really excited about that, Priyanka as Alanna, Taylor Napier as one of her warders, Maxim, Emmanuel Amani as Ivan, her other warder, Kate Fleetwood, Leandrin Sedai, Jennifer Garcia as the Keeper of Chronicles, Leanne Sedai, Claire Perkins as Karine Sedai, and then we have Maria Doyle Kennedy, Daryl McCormick, and Peter Franzen as undefined roles for now. Be sure to check out dragonmount.com/TV for more information about the show. All right, now let's talk about the episodes themselves. Amazon has not officially announced how many episodes that we can expect in Season 1, but all indicators are pointing to 8. What we know is that they'll be an hour long, so that means the production has 8 hours of screen time for Season 1. The big question that I think many of you have as well, is what material are they going to be pulling from? The simplest answer, and one that we at Dragonmount have been openly subscribed to for a while now, is that Season 1 will primarily focus on the events of Book 1, The Eye of the World. Though there is some compelling evidence that Rafe Judkins, the showrunner, and his team may journey outside the first book. One clue, I think, is the inclusion specifically of Claire Perkins' character, Karine Sedai. She's a Green Aes Sedai. She only appears in the New Spring prequel, so it's likely that we're going to get some stuff out of that book. Whether it's in the form of flashbacks, or maybe even the opening prologue of the show itself may delve into that book, just to get some more on Maureen's backstory. We'll have to wait and find out, I guess. One other really big clue that material could come from outside of the Eye of the World are the episode titles themselves. The ones that we know of: Episode 1, Leave Taking; 2, Shadows Waiting; 3, A Place of Safety; 4, The Dragon Reborn; 5, Blood Calls Blood; and 6, The Flame of Tar Valon. Now 7 and 8 are still unknown at this time, so we have to wait on those. There's a lot to dig into with this though, so to help me out, we brought on a special guest to decipher what might be going on with these episode titles. Please join me in welcoming Rebecca Aslam, who hosts the Reading the Pattern YouTube channel. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi, Thom.
Thanks for hanging out with me today. Can you give our viewers a little bit of background on you and your channel, maybe?
Great to be here. So my YouTube channel, Reading the Pattern, launched with a series of reread videos, and I'm most of the way through The Eye of the World now. Each of the videos tackles several chapters in detail. I recap them, and then I get into discussing all the little bits of foreshadowing, all the themes Robert Jordan was tackling, all the ways the characters are developing, and my favorite funny bits as well. These videos are full of spoilers, but they're great for fans who would like to do a full reread but haven't the time. Lately, I've also been doing a lot more content for the TV show, including some spoiler-free character and actor profiles, as well as a deep dive into controversial fan reactions to casting choices. I do plan on doing a lot more TV show content as well as a full reread of The Great Hunt before we get to season 1.
Well, that's awesome. We've all been a really big fan of your work here for a while now. Specifically, I've really enjoyed your reread of Eye of the World. It's been fantastic. I'm curious on what your take is on these episode titles, or what material it could say that they're pulling from.
So a lot of fans have been convinced by the episode titles that the full content of the Eye of the World is going to be covered in 4 one-hour episodes. My fellow YouTuber Nablus did a great video where he broke down exactly how this could work, and without really cutting material, while still covering a few Logain scenes that we don't actually see in the books. So this is very possible. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the episode titles are misleading and the Eye of the World content is going to be stretched out to cover most of the rumored 8-episode season. How could that work? In the first episode, titled Leave Taking, this will likely cover all of the events of Winter Night through our main character's departure from Emond's Field, ending around the time they arrive in Tarn Ferry. We would also likely get a glimpse of Logain and potentially other parts of what's happening in the wider world. We would have time in this slower approach to continue to get updates on Logain and potentially other groups of characters as well in each of the episodes. We could also see new spring flashbacks seeded throughout the season in any of the episodes. Episode 2, titled Shadows Waiting, pretty much ensures we're going to cover all of Shadar Logoth. And in this scenario, Merrilin is probably going to be included as well. The episode would likely end around the time the group gets separated. Episode 3, A Place of Safety, is not going to line up with the corresponding book chapter because that takes place before the group leaves Emond's Field. If the show is taking this slower approach, though, this could be a good place to include some cuts to or even flashbacks from Emond's Field. The main events, though, are probably still going to cover much of the group's separation, potentially including the Spray, Whitebridge, Elias and the Wolves, Tinkers, Ravens, the Steading, White Cloaks, and the Camelin Road, including Four Kings. Episode 4, The Dragon Reborn. In a slower paced option, this would likely be a Logain-centric episode, and we could see a lot of the events around his defeat and capture, including spending more time with the Aes Sedai involved with his capture, who could potentially include Alanna and Liandrin. We would also spend a lot more time with Rand in Camelin in this episode, where the group would be reunited by the end. In this scenario, I'd love for this episode to be the first time it's revealed that Moiraine is looking for the Dragon Reborn, perhaps through a New Spring flashback. Episode 5, Blood Calls Blood, seems to be a clear reference to the dark prophecy scrawled on the wall of the dungeon in Faldara at the beginning of The Great Hunt. But if the show is not doing a totally linear adaptation, the prophecy could be introduced sooner, and it could appear in Camelin, since we know Fain is there as well. With some modification, this could actually be what calls our group to the Eye of the World, while still seeding some hints of future events. In this case, I do think we would see the Ways and Faldara, including Fain, in this episode, but we'd probably be mixing in plots from other characters as well, potentially including Logain and the Aes Sedai as they travel to Tar Valon, along with Elaine, Gawain, and Elida. Lyanna's role in this episode, if so, would likely be included in a New Spring flashback. Episode 6, The Flame of Tar Valon, could be our first glimpse of Tar Valon and our introduction to Siuan as the Amyrlin seat, if Logain is arriving there at this time, and we get a hint of White Tower politics. Our main group, meanwhile, would be in the Blight and the Eye of the World, while the battle at Tarwin's Gap is brewing, potentially ending with a cliffhanger as the Forsaken are about to attack and the battle about to begin. This speculatively leaves Episode 7, the penultimate episode, to include the big battle at Tarwin's Gap and Rand's battle with the Forsaken and the revelation that Moiraine believes he is the Dragon Reborn. Episode 8 would then find us back in Faldara, and I could see it covering some of the early events in the Great Hunt, potentially ending with the theft of the horn, which would kick off our Season 2 plots.
Okay, let's say Season 1 does delve into the Great Hunt, or maybe another book. I know it's super early, but let's irrationally and wildly speculate on what Season 2 could look like.
Yes, I do think it is looking a lot more likely that the Eye of the World is going to be pretty much wrapped up by Episode 4, so I'll break down that possibility as well. I think Episode 101 stays about the same in either scenario. In Episode 2, if we skip Merrilin, that gives us a little bit more time to advance the plot past Shadar Logoth. In Episode 3, could then cover all of the rest of the split in the party, including Rand and Mat's time in Caemlyn and the rejoining of the group. We might see some tightening of these split sequences where we could potentially spend little or maybe even no time with the Tinkers and a much condensed Caemlyn Road sequence. Even though it's possible not to make these cuts, doing so might allow for a little bit more breathing room, longer scenes when needed, or a little bit more time with characters outside of our main groups. That would leave Episode 4 then to cover all of the Ways, the Blight, the battle at the Eye, and Tarwin's Gap. I do think it's possible that it would make sense to skip the stop in Faldara in this episode, in this case, in order to allow for a little bit more time for those battle sequences. The main thing this faster pace would likely result in is not significant cuts to the Eye of the World. Even Min could be introduced at the Queen's Blessing, for example, if they opt to skip Merrilin. But it would probably mean less time spent with Logain, fewer New Spring flashbacks, and fewer opportunities to include characters such as Michael McElhatton's Thom after Episode 1. Now, it really is getting into irrational speculation to guess how much of the Great Hunt is going to be covered in Season 1, when we don't even know the potential episode titles for 7 and 8. But Episode 6, The Flame of Tar Valon, since it comes after Blood Calls Blood, it's probably not going to line up with the same chapter title, Chapter 1 of The Great Hunt. So I will speculate that it could take us as far as Egwene and Nynaeve's arrival in the White Tower and Nynaeve's testing for Accepted. Personally, I like the idea of Season 1 ending right before the time skip, when Egwene is captured by the Shan-Chan and Rand has his flicker, flicker, flicker experience. Then Season 2 could cover all of Falma and all of Book 3, The Dragon Reborn, ending with The Stone of Tyr.
All right, I can get behind that. Well, thanks so much for coming to hang out with us today. And I think I can really speak for everyone. I say we really enjoyed hearing your thoughts, and I look forward to your next episode. Now, if you've also enjoyed Rebecca's fantastic insights as much as I did, make sure to click that link below and subscribe to her YouTube channel, Reading the Pattern. Well, with all the questions and unknowns swirling around the show right now, I think there's at least one thing that we can all agree on. And that's how happy we must all be that they finally cast the character that's really the glue that holds the whole group together. Though there was some uncertainty at first whether this character would be cast or not, I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief finally. Because Bela has been cast. And here to talk about our favorite four-legged character is our most senior equestrian expert, Kitty. Hey Kitty, are you there?
Yeah, hi Thom.
Oh no, are you ill? How are you feeling?
Not really. Somebody had to cover the segment and the producers are making me do it.
Well, we would all be sad if we didn't get to see your face today, but at least it's a pretty awesome segment, right?
Well, the truth is, I hate horses.
What? Senior equestrian expert hate horses?
First of all, I'm allergic to them. And second, they just all snort and they drool and they're just... I don't know, all like kicky and stuff. Ugh.
Well, you should have said something. I'm sure they could have just asked Ebony to do the segment instead.
Ebony's even more afraid of them. A horse once bit her finger off.
Pretty sure that's not true.
Whatever. At least a horse tried to one time. I mean, all horses do. They're carnivores.
I'm really starting to rethink this senior equestrian expert thing.
I know enough to know that they're wild and dangerous beasts.
Well, I mean, I guess you're not entirely wrong, but even Bela?
Oh, light no. Bela is the sweetest, but she's not a horse. She's a goat, and maybe even the creator.
Why don't you just tell us about Bela, like the character?
A couple of weeks ago, Madeleine Madden, the actress who plays Egwene, posted an image on social media of her and Archie, the horse that's going to be portraying Bela, the beloved shaggy mare that we know and love from the books.
Sorry to interrupt. You said Bela, who is a female horse, a mare, is being played by a horse named Archie, which is generally a masculine name. Is Archie a gelding, I guess, or...
Well, as far as I'm concerned, all horses are crazed beasts, so what does their gender matter? But yeah, Archie appears to be a gelding, and he'll be playing a mare.
Isn't that like a big deal, though? Like visually a big deal?
Only if you make it one, Thom. Why are you so concerned about a horse's genitals when it doesn't matter because he's gonna bite your finger off anyway? Just ask Ebony.
Okay, still promise Ebony has all her fingers, but let's just move past that. So help me out. Archie, a male horse, is going to be playing Bela, a female horse, on the show. So are they changing Bela, or, what are they going to do with Archie's, big deal if it's a female horse? And why not just use a female horse?
It's fairly common for some filmmakers to use geldings over mares. Geldings are really easy to work with, and mares have an excellent work ethic, but if there's something they don't want to do, they're not going to do it no matter how hard you insist on it. So the saying goes, you can tell a gelding, but you ask a mare.
Wow, well, all right. I rescind my prior statement questioning your equine expertise.
Well, I am the senior equestrian expert. Oh, and I doubt that they'll actually green screen out his manhood. When you really get down to it, Bela can still be the lovable, gentle horse that we know from the books.
And not a monster with a taste for human flesh?
No, Bela is the best. And no matter what, at the end of the day, it's a f***ing horse. It has no lines.
All right, thanks, Kitty. And feel better.
Bye, Thom.
Now it's time to speak to our senior community correspondent to really put the finger on the pulse of the Wheel of Time community, Ebony. Hey, Ebony, how's it going?
Hi, Thom.
Speaking of fingers, just real quick, off topic, have you ever lost a finger in a horse attack?
Not even going to answer that.
Okay, fair enough, though you may want to talk to Kitty about that.
Oh, I heard. And if she wants to spread rumors, I know exactly what finger she could start with. Just kidding. You want to hear about the community now?
Yes, please. Let's do that now.
This week, I wanted to talk to you guys a little about JordanCon. Now is a great time to purchase your tickets and make plans. We're a little over 2 months out from the event, so if you're considering attending, you should make your hotel and travel arrangements. This year, JordanCon's taking place April 17th through 19th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Crown Plaza Ravinia. This year, we have 2 artist guest of honors. It's a husband and wife team, Annie Steg Gerard and Justin Gerard. Our Arthur guest of honor is Faith Hunter, who some of you may know from the Jane Yellow Rock series or the Soulwood series. Now, I'm sure some of you are asking yourselves, what makes JordanCon so great? Well, it's the people. But JordanCon is more than people and shenanigans and 3 days of panels. It's workshops, it's an art show, it's a charity auction, It's a costume contest, and a Wheel of Time dance party. This year's theme is kind of legends. It's got a steampunk feel to it for those of you that are fans of that. You can get your tickets between now and March 20th for $65. After March 20th, pre-registration ends, so you can get your tickets at the door for $75. You'll also want to pick up your con anthology and your con shirt. Both of these items can be purchased at jordancon.org/shop. Now, they don't ship these items, so you have to come to JordanCon to pick it up. Just one more reason to go. And if this is your first year attending JordanCon, have no fear. You can follow our Facebook page at facebook.com/JordanConInc. And you can keep up to date on all the latest news that's going on in the world of JordanCon. You can also join our JordanCon group. Make sure you keep an eye out for the New Member Monday post done by yours truly. That'll keep you up to speed on everything you need to know as a first-timer.
Don't forget, we will all be there, including the amazing Kathy.
That's right. We'll be there recording material, so keep an eye out for us, and we might just catch you on camera.
And as per always, JordanCon is going to be a lot of fun otherwise, outside of just, us. Anyway, thanks, Ebony.
Thanks, Thom. Bye.
All right, and that's the show. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Thanks for watching and sticking around until the end. As always, please click on that subscribe button and click the thumbs up. And please leave us a comment. We love comments, especially positive ones. And if you have a friend that enjoys the Wheel of Time, please let them know about us and our show. Share the Wheel of Time wealth. A special thanks to our sponsor for the show, Tor Books, as well as our amazing Patreon community. If you would like to learn more about how the show is made or get some additional insights into the Wheel of Time, then you too can become a Patreon supporter. And of course, follow Drag 'em Out on social media. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.